We are awaiting a very controversial flight to take off from the UK today. On that plane, asylum seekers, would-be asylum seekers from Britain, being flown to Rwanda as part of a deportation plan that has stirred up strong controversy. A last-minute court appeal to stop the flight has been rejected. Here's the latest now from Salima Shivji.
Well, it will go ahead because a last-minute court injunction was denied to stop that first flight heading over to Rwanda. So the UK government is very much not backing down on this controversial plan. Remember, this is for refugees who are deemed to have crossed the channel illegally, deemed to have entered the UK illegally and hoping to claim asylum here. Now they'll be flying off to Rwanda, some 10,000 kilometers away. So that chartered plane will leave tonight from the United Kingdom from an undisclosed location here in the UK. The flight will be more than half empty and way more than half empty. Basically, only about 7 people are expected to be on the flight. And that number may dwindle further since there are some last-minute court appeals by some of those people to stay in the UK while they apply for asylum. Now, once in Kigali, they will have accommodations there. There is housing set up while they start their asylum claim process. The costs of this flight, however, are not confirmed, but estimated to be around £500,000. That's about 800,000 Canadian dollars. Still, for the UK government, for its Foreign Secretary Liz Truss, she's defending this controversial policy, basically repeating that it doesn't really matter how many people are on that first flight tonight. This is more about the principle. Take a listen.
The flight will take off tonight. It's very important that we establish the principle of this route into Rwanda. It's a key part of our strategy for tackling the appalling people smugglers who are trading in people's hopes and dreams and in many cases costing their lives.
So that is the argument from the UK government that this is meant to be a deterrent to human trafficking. The Prime Minister Boris Johnson also spoke ahead of cabinet meeting today, saying that his government will not be deterred at all by any of the criticism directed at this policy.
Well, let's talk about that because opposition to these removal flights remains strong. Salima, what is the latest opposition?
That's right. Extremely controversial. There have been many protests, many human rights groups saying that this is cruel and it is just a way of the UK to shirk its responsibilities to provide asylum to those arriving on its shores. That view very much echoed by the United Nations and its High Commissioner for Refugees, Filippo Grandi. He says this creates a precedent that he calls catastrophic and that other countries may follow it. And that would really negate the whole collective responsibility of countries to ensure the right to asylum. Take a listen.
We believe that this is all wrong. This is all wrong. I mean, saving people from dangerous journeys is great, is absolutely great. But is that the right way to do it? Is that the real motivation for this deal to happen? I don't think so. I think it's I don't know what it is.
So I don't know what it is. Some strong words there from the UN's High Commissioner on Refugees. Also firmly against this plan and policies, the entire senior leadership of the Church of England. They've actually written an op-ed that's appeared in the morning papers in the Times. The Archbishops of Canterbury, of York, and 23 other bishops signing on to this letter, basically saying that this is immoral and that it brings shame to Britain, that they're even pursuing this type of plan. Now, expect protests to continue as well, because there will be a legal challenge next month. But the UK government and Liz Truss again repeating this morning, they believe that this policy is completely moral, is completely legal, and their lawyers will be making that argument in front of a court next month as a legal challenge to see whether this policy is lawful or not gets underway.
Salima Shivji from London.